Okay, so today, again, we have two constructions. I want to do a quick review of the last one we did yesterday. That will help us out. Now, I know stuff was gone yesterday. Did anyone else not receive Did anyone not receive a semester practice guide other than her? Everyone got one yesterday? Practice semester test? We started it yesterday, did the first three. Perfect. Yep. Semester test for us is a week from Tuesday, which is past Tuesday. So it's coming up shortly, 3-4 days for you. Okay. All right. Hey, we good? Okay. Goal today. Obviously, I already said it. 2 constructions. I want to go into the next 3 problems on your practice guide. That way we know kind of what our semester test can look like. Remember, semester test is next Tuesday, Wednesday. All late work for me. So if you have LIs in the grade book right now, any blank scores, they're due by tomorrow. Keep that in mind. Constructions, the stuff we've been doing the last couple days in here. Those I'm going to be giving you points and stuff for them. I think yesterday I said they were going to be, I think Monday we did 3 constructions, so those were 30 points. It was 10 points apiece. Tuesday we did 1, so that was 10 points. And then yesterday we did 2, so that was 20 points. So keep that in mind. That those constructions are worth points. You're going to want those for the semester test. Because remember, on the back of that practice guide, I'm adding 2 problems that are constructions. So you definitely need to know how to do them. And all I'm going to do is roll a die, and whatever number comes up, that's the construction I'm adding. So it's pretty easy. Okay? Now, for next week, practice guide is due on Tuesday, the day of the semester test, and you won't get it back. So I'm going to try to warn people of that today. A lot of people are like, Ward, I want to study my practice guide. You better take photos of it before you turn it in, like with your cell phone, so you can actually study it on your own. Make sense? Because I'm not handing it back, because I have to get them graded by Friday. And that takes a while when I have, 86 geometry kids turning in 4-page practice tests and semester tests. So, you're not getting them back when you turn them Tuesday. Okay, all right, let's jump right in. Let me hand out the tools. We're going to start reviewing right away. I'm going to go through this pretty quick. I want to give you work time today. So you can actually work on your practice guide. You can work on any constructions you need to practice. What was that? Yeah, I'm gonna hand those out once we're done with the 2 days of staple. Yep. Picked up 2 and I needed 3.
Yeah. I hope I get
Alright. Mac, did I give you 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, hey, real quick. Pull out the compass, make sure you have lead before we start. Yeah, I'll hand them out and then we'll staple them too. This is page 4 now. So, put your name on your new piece of paper. Put a 4 at the top, because this is the 4th day of construction. We only have 1 more day of constructions, that's tomorrow, and a reminder, I'm gone tomorrow. Your sub will be here, they'll have a video for you to play. I strongly recommend that you bring headphones.
Play it on the board?
Okay, yeah. Well, they're going to play it on the board, but I strongly recommend that you bring headphones in case technology isn't working for the sub. You can just go on my website and watch the video. I'll already have it posted tomorrow morning. So, and it'll have the review of your practice guide, because we're going to do the next 3 tomorrow. I think we have what? Tomorrow we'll have 7, 8, 9 tomorrow on the practice guide. And then Monday we'll do the last 3. And I'll be back Monday to like go over anything you didn't quite understand. But I always recommend headphones in case nothing's working. You can just go watch it on your own. You're not distracting everybody else. Okay, we're ready? All right. Hey, real quick. The construction we did yesterday, we did the 60-degree angle one. This, if you want to watch, that's fine for this one. What we talked about yesterday was how to draw a perfect 60-degree angle. Okay. Hey, on a 60-degree angle, you had to open up your compass and measure how long this segment was. So you had to draw a segment like that. You had to open up your compass to measure how long that actual segment is. And when we were drawing this yesterday, and this was the one we did yesterday, when we did this, we opened it up and I told you just to leave your compass where it is and then just drag it up to make a big looping arc. Once you have that arc drawn, all you have to do is switch your compass around, go from the other side, do the exact same thing, measure how long the stick is, drag it up, X marks the spot, and all you have to do is draw the final line that goes from one of these points, didn't matter which one, and it has to go up through that X. And that is a 60-degree angle.
Who was my man?
No.
Oh, compass is out of left. Yeah.
What was that?
Lead broke.
Oh.
Hello.
Yeah. Neither did that.
We'll switch you out. Hopefully this
Just
one
always
works.
fun.
Yep, we're lucky, I guess.
Maybe you're doing something wrong.
Alright.
Exactly.
I checked it out. Rolling. Do that.
Hey, does that one have lead? That has lead?
I don't know. Yeah.
It's good. Okay. Alright. Hey, are we good with the previous one? Now, why we did this one, I don't know if I hinted at yesterday. That can make a perfect equilateral triangle if you would have finished off the other wall. Because on an equilateral triangle, all the walls are the same size. Well, that's how we made this one. We actually measured the length of the stick, and we drew those arcs. So it actually made these segments the same length. So if you would have actually finished the other one off, now you'd have a perfect equilateral triangle, and it's equal angular, so it's actually a regular triangle. We just didn't talk about that yesterday.
How do you make perfect lines every time?
I think I just got lucky today, because usually those look terrible.
How do you make a perfect circle with lunges?
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Doesn't he do the arm thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
When are we gonna learn how to make a perfect circle?
Maybe tomorrow. Alright. Okay, hey, we're good so far? Alright, let's get to our two new constructions today. You should be on your blank piece of paper. Hopefully that was a nice little review and you kind of remember how that one works. It's kind of one of the easier ones I thought we had. Alright, the new one today, we're going to bisect an angle. So, this is construction number 7.
Well, half my papers took.
Okay, construction number 7, it's a terrible number sign. Alright, construction number 7. We're going to bisect an angle. Now what that means, we're going to cut an angle in perfect halves. Take your straight edge. I would like you to draw any angle you like. It could be obtuse, right? It could be acute, but just make sure you have room in the middle of it to actually draw. Don't make it too small.
This is construction number 7, right?
7.
Yes, that's what it is. Oh, we're gonna
Marker's
copy this
dying.
angle a bit. We already did that, didn't we?
I know.
That'll work.
Oh.
Alright, when you have your angle, let's label it ABC, where B is the vertex.
How big or small?
Doesn't matter. It can be any size you want, but just a reminder, you do need room in the middle of it to draw. Because we're going to bisect it. What bisecting means to cut the angle in half. So we can make any type of angle doing this. What I mean by that is that as of this moment, you guys know how to draw a perfect 60-degree angle. You know how to draw a 90, because we've done 3 different ways drawing 90s earlier this week. Well, when you cut things in half, now you can make 45s if you cut a 90 in half. You can make 30s if you cut 60 in half. You can make 15s, you can make 7.5s. We can make really weird numbers by just cutting angles in half, and then you can attach them because we can copy angles to different locations. So you can make combinations of different angles. So it's one of those things like once you learn the skill and how to mix these together, it kind of opens up possibilities of different things you can do with it. So again, we are just given a random angle and we have to bisect it. So, is everyone good so far? Everyone's got their angle drawn? Take your compass. This is pretty much what you're going to need until the end. It's going to be pretty basic. You're going to open up your compass, and it doesn't matter the size right now. You're not even going to have to change it. You can leave this the same the rest of the time. Open up your compass, and what I'd like you to do is draw an arc, but you got to put the pikey end on the vertex B, and just draw an arc so it hits both walls of your triangle, or both walls of the angle, I should say. So you're going to draw an arc. Once you do that, just keep your compass the same. You don't need to change the compass again. So we're good there. You draw an arc, it has to hit both walls. In fact, I'm going to circle the spots where it actually hit. This is kind of important that you do know where it actually did intersect your walls. So So if you want to draw circles around those two spots. All right, is everyone good so far? Everyone's got their arc? Okay, take your compass. Without changing it, you're going to put it right on one of the points where you intersected. So the pike is going to go right on one of those spots. And what you're going to do is you're going to make a little mark in the middle of the angle where you think the middle of the angle is. Okay, it's going to be out here in the middle. The reason why we're going to cut this in half, so that's going to go in the middle. And again, I didn't change my compass. I just put it right on this point of intersection where your arc hit earlier. And you're going to do it the same for the other spot. So you're going to go to the other mark and make the same mark in the middle. And what should happen if you do this correctly, they should cross out in the middle and make a perfect X. So again, all I did was I drew that arc, I put it on the points of intersection and draw my mark out in the middle. What you're allowed to do then is draw a line that goes out to that X marks the spot. There's my terrible lines again. Again, use your straight edge, go from the vertex V out to X marks the spot. And what should happen if you've done this correctly, it should cut that angle in perfect halves. Now again, my line is terrible, I'm freehanding everything here. Not bad, that's pretty good. Nice, yeah, these look good. I've seen this one done differently. I think this is by far the easiest way to do this one. Yeah.
It's one of those insane buildings where they put the crazy people.
It was under there.
They
But
cut
how
a
did they
hole.
get them in?
They cut a hole in the wall and cement.
Yeah, that's a 30-degree angle.
Oh, they cut the 16.5?
Yeah.
Alright,
They build the structure around there.
hey, are we good with 7? Okay, we're moving on to 8, here we go.
I'll be here.
Alright, here's what I'd like you to do. We're going to do construction number 8. You're going to need some room on this one. In fact, on this one, you're going to need a lot of room going up and to the right. So if you're going to draw this next picture, don't put it near the bottom of your paper, or don't put it near the top of your paper. We need room above it, quite a bit of room. All you need to have right now is a segment going across. And I don't even care how long it is. This one can be any length you want. It can be the whole stick. But you do need an end point on it, so we're going to call this C and D.
So we're not drawing anything to the left, correct?
No, everything should be going to the right and up. Okay. Okay, this is called the parallel line construction. We're going to try to draw a perfect parallel line to the line that you just have drawn. Now I know some people are like, well, Ward, I could just put my straight edge like on the top of it and then just draw a line. Fine, yeah, it's clever. But I want to put it at any spot that isn't just at that marker that's right above your straight edge. Okay? So I want to put it maybe at a different point down the road. So what I'd like you to do is I would like you to pick a point above the line. Shh. So pick a point up here, and let's call it point P. Too much talking. Alright, does everyone have their point P? It has to be above the line. I just put it more to the right, it doesn't really matter. What you're going to do next, the goal here is to draw a parallel line that's going to go through P. It's going to be perfectly parallel to CD, but it's going through this point. You can pick it at any spot where you want it. So what you're going to do, you're going to take your straight edge, and you're going to draw a line that connects P to C, but I want you to keep going above the letter P. So you're kind of making like an angle basically with where P is sitting, and C is the vertex. But I want you to go past the letter P for a while. So this is what it's going to look like. It's going to look something like that. Where this is my letter P, and I went through it and I kept going. Hey, come on. All right, take your compass. We can open this up pretty randomly now. Basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna copy an angle from this spot right here, this angle, and we're gonna put it right there, right where P is sitting. The reason why is if I copy this angle from here to here, basically what you're making is you're making a corresponding angle where you have like two lines and one's above and one's inside the two lines. And if the two angles are equal, it forces the lines to be parallel. That was a postulate we've had back in chapter 3, it was the first postulate. So here's what you're gonna do, take your compass. Put the pike on letter C, and you're gonna draw an arc. I don't care how big this is. When you draw this arc, I don't want your pencil, like the pencil line, to go past the letter P. I want it to be shorter. So if you put point P really close to your line, it's gonna be a little difficult. You can do it, don't get me wrong. It's gonna be more difficult than what I have. I have a lot of space to work with. But again, you're gonna draw an arc using the pike right on letter C, and it's got to hit both walls like that. Once you have that arc, you need to go up to letter P and do the same thing. Put the pike right on letter P and draw an arc like that. The arc almost has to look identical to this one. Now where people mess up, they don't draw this far enough. They don't draw a long enough arc. They like draw an arc way over here, which I don't need. I need an arc that hits the line and comes down and nearly goes like flat with it. Like if you're making a 90-degree angle, it's going to go kind of that way. The problem is this part right here is the part that always gets people. This last 2-3 inches always gets people. Okay, is everyone good with that? Everyone's got the two arcs, and again, I didn't change my compass. I just set it and I drew both arcs using P and C as the center of the text. Okay, the next part. You're going to measure this gap right here. Now, how you're going to measure it? I want you to put the pike right here. This is where the pike is going to be. And the pencil is going to be right here.
I just moved it. Does it matter?
So, it does matter that you have to have it like that, because when we go up top, you need to have the pencil so it's on the bottom. So, I'm going to measure this. Now, some people might get lucky that they don't have to change their compass. I think mine is actually pretty close. I'll have to change it just a hair. It doesn't matter. You are going to be changing the compass here to remeasure how big that is. Again, pike's on the top, pencil's on the bottom line. Once you have that gap measured, again, use the gear in the middle to measure that gap. You're going to go up top, up here. You're going to put the pike right here, and the pencil should be floating out here somewhere. You're going to make the mark where the pencil's going to be floating. It should cross that arc you had drawn. So, again, so the pike's up here, the pencil's floating down there, and I'm going to make my mark, like that.
You understand me?
Is everyone good? Draw the line from P out to X marks the spot. So when you draw this line, it should be perfectly parallel to the other one. And again, use your straight edge. I'm actually drawing a ray, really. Not too bad. It's probably one of my better drawings. Yeah, from P out to X marks the spot, and it should be parallel to the line below. Or it should look at least pretty close.
Yeah.
I do not.
Oh, hey.
Pretty good.
I know.
Okay.
I just added it.
Oh, yeah.
That part's falling.
Well, first you extended it. You made a point.
Another yes, you need to.
Maybe I'll just make this extension and then pass that.
Yeah, this would be more like
That
that.
just hurt a lot.
So you're just going in.
Your mind is not that
Even though it looks deceiving, it is going to. You don't really mind it. That little mark you have was actually really close. It was just a hair off. It was just a hair off. It should have been just like a little bit above that. Yeah. Yeah, it was just a hair off, and the problem is like your lead isn't super exact, it's like it's kind of dull, so that doesn't help it either. But that picture doesn't look bad. So yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. Skippered in a little bit, but not too bad.
I hate
Looks like it's
it.
skippered.
Wait, why is my line?
Tapering a little bit. I wonder if it's just because of the thickness of the lead. It's not too exact. So. Okay, all right. Does everyone have both constructions? Okay, this is your number 4. I'm going to hand out your old ones. We're going to staple it. I'd like you to put your tools back in the bag. Tomorrow we're going to look at maybe 2 more constructions. So 9 and 10. I know I'm not here tomorrow, but you get to watch the video on how to do it. Hopefully the sub will kind of let you figure it out. Here's what I ask you tomorrow. After you're done with your 2 constructions of watching the video, just make sure my tools get back in the bag and the sub collects them. Try to help her or him out the best you can. Again, you can always watch it on my website, so you can like rewind it if you're not quite getting it. And I'll try to tonight. What I'm going to do is I'm going to basically stay in here and do it. So I'll try to put the camera close enough where you can see like every detail what I'm doing. So, all right, I'm going to hand out your old papers here. And then I'd like you to staple your other ones to it. All right. So, practice semester tasks. We went through 1 through 3 yesterday. Goal today is do 4, 5, and 6 today. And then tomorrow we'll do 7, 8, 9. Even though I won't be here, the video will have me going through the next 3. And I'll post it tomorrow morning so you can actually watch during the school if you need to. We went through those 3. The goal today, we're going to pick up with number 4 and continue on. I'll show you the hints and tips, what you need to be able to do. All that good stuff, only the lights. All right, here we go. So, number 1 here, or I should say number 4, problem number 4. They told me that angle number 1 is 30. So you're going to put a 30 here. The big idea with this is a rhombus. So things about rhombuses, certain angles have to be equal. Certain angles are bisected in the corners. Certain angles in the middles are 90s. So what you're supposed to do is off to the side, you have to write the measure of angle 2, the measure of angle 3, the measure of angle 4, and the measure of angle 5. Now, I on purpose did not put instructions here on this one, because the people who aren't going to be here today won't know what they're doing unless they come in and talk to me about it. So number 2, what you have to do is you have to find the angle. So what I just told you a little bit ago, that this angle is actually cut in half. So if this is 30, what's angle number 2? 30 there. Okay, same with 4 and 5. You can, or 3 and 4, I mean. You'll be able to figure those out here in a minute. They're not 30s, they're going to be something else. Now, in the middle, I said that these make right angles. What's a right angle?
90.
So these are all 90. So now you know angle 5. That's 90. Well, you're going to have to go find angle 3 by yourself because this is a right triangle. And we knew that angle number 2 was 30 degrees. So now you can go find that one, the one that's missing. And once you have angle number 3, which is the one I have my arrow pointed at, then 4 has to be the same number as that. Okay? Does that make sense how I did that? It's going to be something with a rhombus or something with a rectangle. It'll be something where it's a basic property of a quad that you have to know. Like the quads that we talked about was rhombuses, right? Rhombi, where, you know, the sticks in the middle meet at 90s, they bisect angles in the corners. We talked about rectangles where the angles in the corners are all 90s. The angles in the corners are 90s. We talked about on a rectangle, these sticks are exactly the same size. Like I'm talking the full diagonals are the same. So this stick is like a 2x and this other stick is 10. You can figure out what x is. The 2 sticks are equal to each other. Question.
Would 4 be 62?
Yeah, it's got to be the same number. Yep, because 3 and 4 are the same.
Or 2 and 1, those are different.
2 and 1 are the same to each other. 2 and 1 are the same angle. I just have that marked on the board. Talk about that. And 3 and 4 are the same. Okay, all right. But again, the big thing about our quads, if it's talking about a rhombus, you know how that works. If it talks about a rectangle, remember the diagonals are the same length. Talks about a parallelogram, they still bisect each other.
You killed it?
Okay, any questions with number 4? It's pretty easy. I'm gonna keep it simple in the test. If you're overthinking it, you're gonna get it wrong. Clearly.
169.
Yeah, I'm making an easy problem there, I'm not trying to trick you. Okay, alright, let's go to number 5. Number 5, you have to do Pythagorean theorem to this problem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So, to do this problem correctly, okay, you have to know which one's your A, B, and C. Well, on a right triangle, A and B have to be the walls that touch your 90. The C is the hypotenuse, that should be the biggest wall. It's the only wall that doesn't touch 90. So again, that formula, A squared plus B squared equals C squared, is not going to be on the board. It will not be there. You should already know it. We've had it for 3 chapters in a row now. So to do this, you're going to go 12 squared plus, what is that, 5 squared equals C squared. This is a 144, that's a 25, this equals C squared. And again, how I'm getting those numbers, square means you take it times itself. You would not believe how many people get this wrong because they don't know where to put the numbers. Because it just depends what triangle they give you. You add them together, you get a 169. And then to solve for this, you have to take the square root to this side. And this works out to be a nice, pretty number. I will tell you right now on the test, it may not work out to be pretty. If it's a decimal, write the decimal down. If it's a square, leave it a square root. Okay, because maybe it doesn't work out. This actually has a perfect number that makes 169. Now, if I had a triangle like this, X, 6, and 11. Here's the problem. That picture is done differently than mine. The reason being, A, B, stop talking. A, B, and C, when you actually square them, A and B are actually the X and the 6. So it's X squared plus 6 squared equals the 11 squared. It doesn't always have to have the numbers on the one side. They can be mixed matched. It just depends on where A and B are. A and B have to be the walls that touch your X, or touch the 90. So on this problem, you'd have to go, the 121 and 36. You'll actually have to subtract the 36 across. Some people don't think you can do that. It's just an algebra 1 problem. Solve for X. Okay, we go to number 5. Alright, number 6. This one, actually both of these, you need a calculator. Because on this one, you have to do the trig functions. Sine, cosine, tangent. They're worth, I think, 3 or 4 points each. Because you have to show me what the formula is, you have to plug the numbers into it, and actually solve it correctly and type it in your calculator. There's a lot of steps to number 6. Now, we're going to do 1 today, and we'll do the 7 tomorrow.
I have a question about 5 before you go see.
Which one?
So if X were to be A squared, okay?
Yeah.
And then,
Okay.
so X squared equals 157, would you just divide 157?
You're subtracting this over.
Oh, well, whatever.
Okay,
So
yeah.
then when I get that whole number,
Take the
would I
square.
just divide it?
Just take the square root. To get rid of the powers, you always take square roots. So you're going to subtract 36 across, and then take the square root of that number, whatever it is.
So it's the same.
Yeah, it's the same problem, it's just the numbers aren't on the one side together to start. Alright, we good though? Okay, alright, number 6, last problem of the day. Last problem, then we're good. Okay, number 6, this is a trig function problem. I'll do this one today. Tomorrow on the video we'll talk about 7 because 7 has a slightly different setup. Okay, on this problem, this is 30, this is X, and this is a 13. Sorry if I got a little faded. On test day I'll make sure 100% guarantee the pictures will be really nice and clean. Because I'm going to make sure that we're super dark so you can see them. Alright, on this one, you have to label the walls. So what I mean by labeling the walls, this is your angle, right? So if we do a trig function, that's your angle. This wall that's across from it is called the opposite wall. Opposites are always across the picture. This is obviously the hypotenuse. You should not get the hypotenuse wrong. It's the biggest wall of the right triangle. And it looks like we're not using the adjacent side. The adjacent side is this one. We're not using it. So it looks like that's the only one that isn't used. There's no numbers down there. There's no letters. So we're not using it. So when you think about SOHCAHTOA, SOHCAHTOA. When you think about this little acronym, you have to use the letters that are on your picture. That's how I know. That's why I label the walls. By looking at this picture, it looks like I'm not using adjacent, right? That was the one wall I wasn't using. So I'm not using these because they have A's in them. A means adjacent. So if I know I'm not using adjacent, those two are automatically thrown out. So I have to use this one. I'm using sine. That's how I know which one to pick. That's why I label the pictures every time. So S stands for sine, and it always goes sine of your angle, sine of 30, that's how it always works. And now the letters in the back, these two letters are the fraction that goes behind it. So that's equal, and the fraction is O over H, opposite over hypotenuse, which is 13. Again, second letter's on the top, third letter's on the bottom. Now, since my number's on the bottom, how do we get rid of the number off the bottom?
Multiply.
Multiply it across. So that's pretty easy. So you multiply this across, and this is what you're going to type in my calculator, if you're using one of mine. 13, sine 30, hit enter, boom, it spits out an answer. It should spit out something like 6.5.
Yeah.
6.5.
Doing that in my head.
Yeah.
Because sine of 30 is 0.5 on the calculator. You're going to take that times 13. Okay, now, if the number wasn't on the bottom, we'll look at maybe one of those tomorrow. Maybe the number wasn't on the bottom, we can check that out. Okay, questions at all about how to do these problems? Okay, we're going to look at number 7. Number 7 does the same thing. So we'll look at that tomorrow. I said, like, these are worth a ton of points. There's more of these problems on the test than anything else. Okay, you can put your practice guide away. Make sure, did I get everyone's constructions today? Because I'm grading those.
Can I take a picture so I can show it?
Yeah. Yep, I need those instructions. So if Ray can take a photo, I'm going to take one.
Hopefully our comes up the right practice. That would be real depressing.
Okay, can you click the lights for me there, Tinker? Thanks.
My bad.
Yeah.
What are you doing if you need it?